Welcome back to my Let's Play series on Monster Hunter World. I'm going to continue on here where we left off with episode 2. We've arrived in Astera after a little bit of a shipwreck, done a little bit of running around, hearing what we're here for. We equipped our weapon, we got our palico, talked to the chef. Now we're going to talk to the handler, and we're probably going to get our first quest. So the guild teamed us up for a reason. From now on, you're my hunter and I'm your handler. I'm the bread to your butter, got it? I really don't like this character very much. The 5th Fleet first mission is to survey the Jagras' habitat. Then we gotta call a certain number of them in order to secure the area. We can depart as soon as you sign up for the Jagras of the Ancient Forest quest. You ready? A wild and wondrous new world is waiting for us out there. Alright, so we got quests. There's a bunch of different types of quests. The one we're going to do right now is an assignment. That's going to be like your progress the story main quest line types of things. That's what you need to do in order to like kind of move your hunter rank up, which is how you take on harder and harder monsters. There's a bunch of different types of quests besides those. We'll talk about those as we get to them too. Because it looks like we literally have just this one option. Slay 7 Jagras. Very thrilling first quest to do. Alright, so you accept a quest. You haven't gone out on it yet. Basically, the quest in this game is, you accept something, there's a criteria. This time it's killing 7 Jagras. Sometimes it's going to be hunt a big monster, sometimes it'll be capture a monster, etc. Once we've accepted that quest, we can go do some other stuff. This is kind of talking about what to do if you're playing multiplayer. So I'm in this quest as just a single player, obviously, because it was a weird way that they did the kind of early, especially progression quests, is anytime there's going to be a cutscene in the quest, other players can't join it until after the cutscene has ended. So it was a decision that, I guess there's probably technical reasons why it makes sense. I'm not going to get into that. But it made trying to play with friends really frustrating because you couldn't just pick the same quest and start it at the same time with each other. You had to like do that to the cutscene and then stop and then wait for your friend's cutscene to end and then join their game, and it wasn't very handy. All right, but now I'm sitting down at the canteen. We're gonna eat a meal before we go out. You always want to eat a meal before you go out on a hunt. There's a bunch of different skills that get activated. You can pick from different ingredients. We'll be unlocking more ingredients as the game goes on too. At this point we've got just like a few different options here. But the main thing you're going to see is that at the top middle there, under the meal effects, there's health, there's stamina. You always have on 100 health and 100 stamina in this game. So like the way that you kind of like increase your survivability is through the armor that you're wearing. So the defense in the armor and elemental resistances, etc. But you eat meals to get an additional amount of health and stamina. And early on, it's a little bit more challenging. You can see we've got, plus 10, plus 25, plus 25 to stamina. There's not really a lot of good options here for us necessarily. But we will get to the point where we can get to plus 50 for each of those. So you're going out with 150 health and 150 stamina instead of 100. It's a pretty substantial difference, and you always want to go out. There's no reason not to eat a meal before you go out. These things are not going to do that much damage, so let's go ahead and get this one with attack up, and then we get these really just adorable cutscenes for the food. They always go really over the top with these, and they're delightful. Makes you hungry, huh? Yum. Alright, got my additional stamina. I got my a little bit of attack up. Now let's check our items here. So I have some stuff in my pouch. You can see on the left side I got my pouch here. I don't have any loadouts yet, so we're going to want to do that. Let's go ahead and restock. So that's going to fill everything up. I don't need this, so let's go ahead and store that. Raw meat. I don't really want the raw meat with me. The rations, let's keep those and keep these guys. Okay, so for now, let's go ahead and register this first loadout. So this will just be when I come back to town, I can just say, select that loadout, it'll automatically move those items back in there for me. There's not really much else to do. Let's just go ahead and get out here and do this first hunt.
Alright, this is our first job. Let's do a quick review of quest rules. Rule number 1. Complete the objective to complete the quest. Easy, right? Each quest has an objective. You can't consider the quest done until you complete that objective. Our current objective is to eliminate a specified number of Jagras. Let's check them out. We ran into some Jagras on the way to base. The small monsters, remember? I think we saw them somewhere around here. Want to check it out? Rule number 2. Use the supply box. The Commission supplies us with a loadout of certain items. They're in the supply box over there. Have a look and decide what you should take along. Ready to go.
I muted my mic, and I'm really hoping that I didn't just have it muted for a whole chunk of this, but we'll find that out later, I suppose. Alright, so they give me a few things. I guess we'll take these, because you may as well use them. They go away at the end of a hunt anyway. And you can see in the bottom right, I've got my potions. So if I press X, I'll heal, use that item. But holding the left button, pressing X and B, I'll cycle through all the stuff I have. So you can see here's the stuff that we just like had in that item loadout, but then we've also got a bunch of other stuff that it gives you to start, and then here's those other items we just got from the box. One thing here, if I equip this,
Wanna get going?
and there's these little guys. Oop, no, I missed it. I'll mess with that later. You can capture these like little tiny animals, and then they can end up being like pets in your little house things later on. One thing I want to make sure I have here too. Let's see under options, camera. There's different types of camera things. Game settings. Yeah, camera and scoutfly settings. Track. Do not follow. I'll have to mess with that in a little bit. We'll see. Yeah, I keep missing them. Alright. I remember there being a thing with the camera by default where it like wants to kind of like automatically track, but that's just like generally not the best thing in this. Alright, got some mega potions now. That's another thing. The potions don't heal for very much, but if you mix a potion with honey, they heal for quite a bit more, so you generally want to just be like using honey and making mega potions, and just you store additional potions with you so that you can just like mix them with honey later and make more mega potions. You rarely want to use just a potion unless you have like absolutely no other option. Yes, that's not what I want. I need to mess with these camera settings just really quick if I can remember how to do it. Probably not view mode. Hopefully I don't have to spend too long finding this. Can't remember what it was. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this video doing this one thing, but camera controls, reticle controls, camera style, here we go, target camera. Alright, there we go, that's what I wanted. So now it won't try to track the monster automatically when you've locked on. You press like a focus on the monster button instead. Alright, let's bonk some of these things. Bonkin' Jagras.
They're on the run. Don't let them get away.
They're on the run.
Grab all the monster materials you can. We can use them at the smithy.
That's another thing. So there's always going to be other stuff to gather on these hunts. So like pretty much anytime you see like a little mining thing right there, you always want to get those because that's oftentimes something that you would use for your crafting of things.
Use whatever you can.
So just bonk all these guys.
You can use the slinger with your weapon drawn. Look for the
If
perfect
I hold
moment,
this
then fire.
trigger down, it will like spin me around. I'm hoping this will help me like hit a bit more of the monsters at once, but
Hammer is a mighty close-range weapon. Stun monsters with the monster's been immobilized. Now's your chance.
yes, with the hammer, first of all, I'm obviously just like running around with it drawn. If I hold the right trigger, it's gonna put me in this charge mode, and I can like do this little like charge up thing. Alright, I got them all. Alright, so now I got a minute before it will finish me from this quest. I won't take damage at this point, but I do want to carve these guys. So once you've killed monsters, you want to like go over and press B to carve them. And by collecting the materials, that's what you end up using to, you know, make new armor and weapons at a certain point. Obviously, these little Jagras probably aren't going to yield like the best armor and weapons, but it's just a good habit to be in. Just always carve everything. You've got plenty of time. You're not going to do anything else during that last minute before this. And then while we've got the moment here, we can always just like run around and see if there's anything else to collect. Well, we're out of time now, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, finished our first quest. Look at us go. Alright, into the quest, you get a bunch of different rewards, usually related to the monsters you were just fighting. Looks like my Palico also grabbed some stuff and he's leveling up. So the Palico will come into combat with me. It'll do some attacks, it'll probably gather some things. It has like different abilities you can equip to it, I think 2 at a time.
Good to see you.
The first one it gives you is just basically a way to heal you, which is a nice little kind of thing to have in the background, especially if you're not taking a ton of damage, then it can just like heal you to full because it's on a timer. Right, everything's riled up from the Zora Magdaros. That's going to be my job to quiet them down. So I've got to go investigate this Kestodon herd and call their numbers. And this guy's coming along with me because apparently... no, we don't want voice chat on. Alright, now I'm like in the game. Okay. So I've got online mode activated now. I can get my log-on bonuses. Let's see, we got a dung pod. Some vouchers. Some things that are, I guess, from like snowman and winter things. Oh my goodness. Use the snowman item to create snowballs, hitting our player with snowballs. Oh my god. Yeah, there's like lots of little events that happen in this game. So there's some kind of winter thing. Alright, what's this girl gonna talk to us about? Can I talk to you? Okay, well, she doesn't want to talk to me at the moment, I guess. Well, we'll come back to her later. In the meantime, we'll go up to the smithy because he wants to talk to us about something. Got someone over there to talk to. Pretty much always gonna like talk to everybody we can talk to. Sometimes they'll give you quests. Yeah, this is a person. It was kind of like the store where we could buy items in the last episode. You basically like never buy your weapons and armor, you always craft them, but they still exist here. So let's see, the Defender set is a fancy one. Yeah, if we look at what we can buy here as far as hammers go, they're, first of all, it's the one I already have equipped, so you would never need to buy this. And then one other type, we can make these really easily too. So we're gonna go ahead and skip those for now. Defender. I think this is basically what I'm using already, just in a different color. Yeah, so I think we're good. Let's go ahead and back out of that. Let's see what this other guy wanted to talk to us about real quick.
Greetings.
So the 5th has arrived. Greetings here. I'm the airship engineer with the 2nd Fleet, and I work on flying machines, airships, and what have you. I'm sure you're curious about why you haven't met a member of the 3rd yet. That's because they've all been stranded for years. It wasn't long after the scholars from the 3rd landed before they insisted upon crossing the Great Ravine. So they got their ship converted into an airship, and off they went. It was going well until just after they'd crossed the ravine. A flying monster attacked their airship and grounded them. Sure, they were reckless to go, but seeing as I'm the man who put them in the air, I can't help feel partially responsible for it. Ever since then, I've been working on making a better airship, one that we could use to go rescue them. But between the New World's nasty weather and the strong winds hurtling down the ravine, it's been one failure after another. Still, you won't catch me calling it quits. That's a little bit of foreshadowing. Alright, Smithy, what do we need here? You'll be needing my services a lot. What I do for you is simple. Whenever you go out in the field and gather materials, I turn those materials into weapons and armor. Drop by whenever you find something new and interesting. Here, I'll give you some materials as a welcome present. You can use them to upgrade your equipment. Alright, so we can, let's see, we can upgrade our stuff. Here's that hammer we've got. So we will pick something. We basically have like a tree of things here. I'm not going to read through this tutorial, but here is a hammer I can use. Oh, I should probably try to make that if I can. Oh, I can't upgrade, right? We're on the upgrade screen. So I could use some iron ore, which I gathered earlier, to upgrade that. Or I can make this guy. But at 468, this is 676. Let's go ahead and use... Let's go ahead and make this guy. Craft defender weapons. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Because these are quite strong. Not going to mess with that. And we'll explain all that stuff later too. Alright, so Defender Warhammer. This has Blast element. Blast is like one of my favorite elements. It doesn't do any damage on its own, like per hit. Like if you had fire or ice or something, it would do like a little bit of that elemental damage on every hit. But Blast is instead something kind of like builds up a meter, and once that meter hits, it creates a little explosion. And the explosion does a bunch of damage. So it can be really satisfying. It looks neat. You're like doing your bonks with the hammer, and then every once in a while we'll see like a big explosion, and then that will be the blast triggering. So equip that guy. I'm gonna suspect that we can't upgrade this thing very much yet. Let's see. No, I think that's Anjanath materials to upgrade this, so we'll skip that for now. You can see we go under development here on the right side. We don't have nearly enough monsters to get through all of this yet, but there will be plenty of things to get through here soon. Alright, this is already upgraded. Can't upgrade that. That's good. Let's see if it's worth upgrading or building any of this out. Looks like we don't have any of the stuff to make this yet, so we won't do that. No, I need points anyway, which I don't have. Alright, so we are good. He wants us to talk to him again. Layered armor. Layered armor basically is just cosmetic armor. So it'll allow us to mess with that at a later point in the game. We don't really have anything worth doing with that yet. Alright, back down to the trader. I kind of want to see if I can talk to this event person. I'm not sure why she won't let me talk to her right now. Yeah, it might just be because I'm not at that stage. I think I might need to progress just like a little bit further here first. But this person wants to talk to me. A hunter from the 5th, are you? You must have finished your first quest. This is ecological research, headed up by yours truly. Tell me, did you find any monster data out there? Tracks, gashes, that sort of thing? Data tells us a story about the monsters, an elaborate and interesting one at that. Your job in the field team is to track the monsters, collect data, and advance the survey. Our job is to take that data, analyze it, and compile our findings for the commission. What we learn helps you out in the field too, so you see, we need each other.
I'll be here.
Drop by here anytime and I'll show you what we're working on. So, basically what this is going to help us with is like, when we collect those little tracks from monsters and stuff, they'll level up how much we like kind of have as like the research about that monster, and the more we have, the more information about those monsters we'll have when we go out in the field. And so that is handy because the more you have, the more likely you are to be able to just like find where a monster is when you enter a quest. Like at this point, we're going to be doing a lot of like seeking monsters as part of the hunt, you know, hunting them, so to speak. But later on in the game, you know, easier monsters will be able to just like know where they are, track them from the very beginning, and just like beeline straight to them. Alright, so we need to do some oven roasting. So this is like taking meat and giving it to them. I don't have any. Oh, I need points. Okay, so probably trying to get ahead of myself here a little bit. We'll skip that. Alright, now I can get a little bit of health, so let's do that. So I'll be at 120 health, 125 stamina now, so we're getting a little bit closer there. And he wants to talk to us again. You interested in bulking up the canteen with more ingredients? That's what I'm talking about. Take care of the quest Fungal Flexin in the Ancient Forest, and that menu will be more packed than a great Jagras' belly. Finish that one up, and I'll be able to get my paws on the goods. Don't let me down. Alright, gotta deliver 20 gourmet shroom caps. So I guess we'll do that quest at some point. We also need to do these Kestodons they want me to deal with. So we'll sign up for these quests and let's see what we got. Yeah, now we can use the board too, so we don't have to talk to her every time. We don't always come up here. Although you always come up here because you want to use the canteen anyway.
So don't worry about having to check 2 places. We're on the hunt.
Alright, so we'll post a new quest and let me see. So we've got assigned quests, Kestodon Kerfuffle. That would be the one to kind of progress us through the game. Then we've got the Fungal Flexin. And then here's that one we just did too, complete. So we could do that one again if we really wanted to. So I can either go get some mushrooms, or I can do some Kestodons, or we have a huge list of event quests. So event quests are kind of like DLC quests that they add later on. They often have like special rewards, weird conditions, hunting things that are like normally like a really tiny monster, but it'll be like a really big version of it, or a really big monster, but it's a tiny version of it. So there's a lot of things here. Obviously, we're like not going to do any of these 9-star high rank quests yet. Let's open the map and just see. So there's just this one event person that I don't know why it won't let me talk to them. That's okay. So let's go ahead and can I'm not going to change it from there. Alright, well let's do our assigned quest. Normally I would like do all the optional quests first, but I don't really want to spend time doing that. I think we can kill... There we go. Let's make it 1 player. We don't need to use that. Vouchers are for making sure we get like better rewards from a quest, but we're not trying to get rewards from these Kestodons. Alright, so you can see here we have messed with some of our items a bit, so we're going to go ahead and manage our loadouts. Use this loadout. It's going to put us back to our kind of default items here. Always just like a quick way to get ourselves set up for a quest. And then we go out. So we got to go find some Kestodons. I'm not sure if it's going to tell us to hunt like different types of them.
Our job is to call a certain number of Kestodons.
I'm not going to bother with the supply box. There's times that it's like kind of useful. Other times it's kind of like, nah, I'm not really need to bother. And at this stage, I'm not expecting to take like a ton of damage from these, so. But here's some Kestodons. So let's go ahead and I will charge up. And let's do that like spin around attack again, because that was fun. Alright, male one. Yeah, gotta kill some male ones. Some female ones. That explosion a second ago was the blast triggering. That explosion that we just saw. Get him, Chi. With the really tiny monsters, the corpses disappear pretty quickly, so if you want to gather them, you often need to like do it pretty quickly. That's why I'm doing it right now. Again, probably not going to like need anything from this, but you may as well do it, right? Okay. Alright, let's go find some more. So we got one male, two female down. We don't need those things. These are like Alteroths or something. Aptonoth. I guess this guy's like leading us to the enemies here. Pretty early in the game still, so they're being nice to us. Grab these herbs. So you use the crafting menu with an herb to turn it into a potion. If I had fewer than 10 potions, it would try to automatically pick up for me. Or rather, automatically craft it into a potion for me, which is kind of convenient. Alright, so we're gonna charge up and then start spinning around and smacking. Got some good bopping there. It seems to be a pretty effective attack, so let's go ahead and do this one again. Keep bopping these guys. And just one more female, so it's probably gonna be it here.
That just about wraps up our work here. Wait. Hey, come here. I think I found something.
Uh-oh. So that wasn't enough, apparently. Got some tricksy things happening here. But let's carve these really quick, and there's a bone pile over there I was going to grab as well. Right there over by the water. You need random monster bones for stuff. Sometimes you can get them from the monsters, sometimes just the bone piles. And depending on like where you are and what level of hunt you're doing, the bone piles will produce different things.
Here.
Oh, well, I guess he's just going to force me up there.
Look at those Kestodon. Something's up
Oh
there.
boy. Big Jagras. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh god, that's so disgusting. Just ate it whole. Look at it. Look at it. It's in there, just like full on Kestodon in its belly.
Gotcha! Alright, partner. New assignment incoming. Take down that great Jagras. If you're not ready, you can return to base and take on the great Jagras quest later.
Wanna get going?
So yeah, collecting these little things, this is what's gonna like give me information about what we're seeing on the ground here.
And you're going to need friends when you go up against some of the tougher
And
monsters.
let's just chase it down. I mean, it couldn't have gone that far, right?
Target monster. We need to keep finding traces of it. Like footprints, for example. Good.
Alright, so we found enough that it's gonna lead us to like more tracks now, I think is what's happening. Or maybe it wasn't. Let's just jump down here and see what we got. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to lead us somewhere. So we'll follow it and see where it's taking us. This was like such a nice little addition to the game. I mean, depending on who you ask, the games used to be pretty obtuse in terms of like finding stuff. Like you would just like run and run and run and just like hope that you would find the monsters you were looking for. It's gotten a little bit simpler with the scout flies. Now, I'm not sure if when I kill this, if it's going to make me go out and do that quest again, but let's go ahead and just bonk it anyway. We're getting a little close to the time to end this first episode, but I think we're going to go for it. So when you see those little like stars, it means I'm hitting in the head, so I want to be hitting in the head as much as possible. Yeah, there was a good example of the blast happening. Alright, so we stunned it. So that's like the thing with the hammer is you hit him in the head, you stun him, and when it's down it gives you a good opening to do like really big combos like this. That's pretty big damage. Yeah, we are wrecking this thing.
That monster is really active. Be ready for some vicious attacks.
Look, the monster's almost done for. Chances are
Let's keep collecting these footprints, because the more research we get, the more points we get, and we obviously needed those points for various things when we were back in town, like making palico armor and stuff, and operating the smith's oven roasting thing. Grab these beetles. So there's tons of stuff to grab in this game, and we'll spend a little bit more time in another episode, probably just like running around, kind of exploring this particular map. We'll learn a bit more about what's going on. Where's he going? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that whiffed. Well, let's just see if we can bonk him a few times here. So this combo, if you don't hit, you just kind of like waste that big final hit. Yeah, that was easy. Okay. So we got it. Let's go ahead and gather this. And looks like there's a bone pile underneath him too, so I'll grab that while we're over here too. But we gotta carve this great Jagras because we can maybe get some parts from him that we want to use. At least make something for the palico with that. Alright. Gather these bones. And then we'll have a few seconds left. We may as well run around and see what else we can find. So what else is up here? We got some bugs. These are just things that you use for hunts themselves. At later dates, we'll be able to like look at the map and see where like different materials are, like mining crops. Those are going to be like a really important one. I don't remember where they all are at the moment, so probably not going to find anything in the last 5 seconds here. But either way, that was a pretty successful hunt. I think I got him pretty quickly.
I think we got a lead.
Maybe. Let's check it out.
Goop. You got some feathers, we got some goop. Might mean we got a new monster. Uh-oh. Creepy eyes thing. Okay, okay.
Well,
Big
you were
tongue
right.
guy.
There's our mark.
Ew.
Something's got him agitated.
Ew. That's not good.
Look over there. What in the heck is that? I've never seen anything like it.
You think it's from Zora Magdaros?
I'd like to find out. But we better report back first. All right?
Well, I suspect we're going to be fighting one of those soon. Alright, so we got a bunch of materials. Go ahead and collect all this stuff. Get my Palico item. We got a bunch of research points. My hunter rank is up to 2. Palico is up to 3. Now I can take on 2-star assignments. Alright, pretty productive episode 2. Let's go ahead and finish talking to him. I'm going to send out some researchers, but not with a pissed Puke Puke. Well, better go take on the Puke Puke, huh? Once our team from the resource center is done rebuilding the forest camp, once it's ready, we can make our move. So they're going to give us like a nice little camp.
Once the camp is set up, you can go after that Puke Puke.
Alright, so I gotta go talk to some people, but let's go ahead and do that in the next episode. So we'll wrap things up here, and then we will come back shortly with episode 3 to probably take on that Puke Puke, maybe craft some Palico gear, maybe do a little exploring, probably do a lot of talking to NPCs. I can see a yellow exclamation mark right here. But yeah, I'll be back soon.